from what I've seen, it has a lot of slow speed corners. It's it's moderately technical, but slow speed. No, not a lot of high speed. It has a lot of slow speed. So this is going to give the advantage to Ferrari over Mercedes, not Mercedes, Ferrari over McLaren, and I don't say Red Bull, I'll say Max's Red Bull, because Max's Red Bull takes advantage of the technical tracks that have high speed corners that put a lot of wear on the tires. Ferrari does well on these with these, if you see, it's mostly slow speed corners, which are very long, constant radius. Also, there's not really areas where there's a lot of tight S's and winding. There's not a lot of winding on this. So this track is a lot slower and it's going to be to Ferrari's advantage.
Yeah.
And McLaren and McLaren is somewhere in between Ferrari and Mercedes and Red Bull. Red Bull, but I think this is going to hurt Red Bull because Red Bull has not been using a lot of downforce now. What do you think, Afolabi? Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. In fact, this is going to really play to the teams that have speed on long straights. Look at the stretch from sector 5 to 6. It's a
Oh
really long
yeah.
stretch, yes. So teams like possibly McLaren would profit from this kind of track. It
Yeah,
has
but I think because it's slow speed, I think it's going to affect. Because remember, this corners are low speed, so it's not going to put a lot of wear and tear on the tires. And Ferrari probably has a higher. I think they have a higher top speed than McLaren.
top speed than
And
McLaren.
McLaren's advantage is on the windy tracks. But for the teams that are really fast, like Haas and Co., they don't. The really teams that are fast on those straights is going to be negated by the slow speed because they won't have enough downforce. What do you think? Biodo? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, from what we see on the track, it's got these tight corners, and outside of the second sector, you'll be driving for the most part in low gears,
Yeah.
in the first and third sectors. We see a lot of overtakes in this tracks. I mean, just judging from what we saw in last year's race. Also, because I think a lot of the teams would have met their development sort of like thresholds. They
Yeah.
all of them are sort of like fully developed in terms of learning how to manage the track. But it is a little bit tricky uh, for the engineers to get the track in the right window, because
Yeah.
you're battling the difference between
Yeah.
between that blue second sector um and the other two sectors, sector 3 and
Yeah. It's
sector.
actually a balanced track. It's a balanced
Yeah,
track.
yeah, it's a balanced track. So I mean, I would think.
Except
uh
actually, there's only one thing is missing. It doesn't really have some seriously technical areas, though. Yeah. But yeah.
yeah,
But I guess
yeah.
sector to the yellow sector, that's the technical area.
I
But
th- I
that one is
think
not too
yeah.
that's
I
not too
think I think
challenging, though. Yeah.
I think it is a little bit technical around there, and also this
The
turn
red.
eight,
No.
the turn 8 and turn 7
Oh yeah, I see
in
it.
the faster part of the track.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, it's
That's
it's all
technical,
about
but
how.
it's only the duration is so low. Because some other tracks have many places like that in which that would be considered non-tight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So there is kind of like that.
Yeah.
You sort of like have medium downforce, kind of like a setup on
Yeah.
your car, so that you're able to handle those two,
Yeah.
but able to reduce drag in those longer straights.
Yeah, and the surface is smooth. Actually, this track might help Mercedes too because Mercedes is undefined. But I think Mercedes prefers to drive on high speed corners, right? Yeah, maybe I don't know. I think they do, but they're
A
weird.
couple
Yeah,
of
Yeah,
yeah,
seasons
they
ago,
do.
yeah.
yeah, they do. Yeah, so let's go to
Yeah,
Kunle
but
feedback. Oh,
yeah, I mean,
okay, let Lorato finish, then Kunle will go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just thinking back on how they did in Vegas with those long straights.
yeah,
Uh,
they're good. Yeah,
so if they do have the same kind of setup and the same kind of balance, we could see them being in
yeah, they'll do
contention.
well. Yeah, but I would just say right now, I'm tipping towards Ferrari, and also Ferrari will be motivated. Yeah, but
Yeah.
and Leclerc may even come second. I don't think they can get the team championship, but it'll be funny if he comes second. What were you going to say, Kunle? Then we'll go to our follow-up.
Yeah. So I was going to say, there's a couple of seasons ago, Mercedes would have loved this kind of track when it was all
Yeah.
about the handling. And yes, it seems it's deceptive. But I mean, now notice Afolabi was saying yes, there's two long straights, and but I understand what Mustafa is saying. The corners are very sharp. So you're losing a lot of speed into
Yeah.
corners 12, 14, 16, and 6 to 7. You're losing a lot of speed. So there's a lot of braking involved. So there is a lot of there is a reasonable amount of driving skill that's going to be needed in handling
Challenge, yeah.
this kind of track.
It's going to
I
be
mean, there's
interesting.
only two and a half straights really, and even before you enter those straights, you're entering from a sharp corner. You're not taking it sort of like a gentle contour, so that you're keeping your speed. You're gonna have to break into
Yeah.
all the
You're
corners
going to have to, it's
on all
more
the
abrupt.
straights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a good. There's going to be a constructors' battle between McLaren and Ferrari, because
Yeah.
Ferrari are on 619 points. I think
Yeah.
McLaren on 640. So that's the battle. That's the story of this race. Is
Yeah.
the
And
battle
also,
of the constructors.
it's going to depend on what's his name, the Piastri. If he's going to be the key man, if he falls too far behind, Ferrari might have a shot. Yeah, in points.
Yeah, because the two Ferrari drivers are quite strong.
Yeah.
Sainz is stronger than Leclerc, although they'd always hope that Leclerc will be stronger. But we're going to find out about that next season when
Oh
Hamilton.
yeah. Although Leclerc,
Yes.
I'll give Leclerc credit. I think he's still, and I think the last two races he's been pretty fired up. But I think he has more talent than Sainz. But Sainz, like you said, has the more complete package. You know.
I think Piastri is a bit better than Piastri and Norris. The gap in ability isn't that much because Norris should be crushing Piastri, and he's not really. He's beating him, yes, but he's not crushing him.
Yeah, because I think Norris mentally he checks out sometimes, or not mentally he checks out, but he doesn't handle pressure well. Piastri handles pressure well, I think. Yeah.
Yes, I think that it would be fair of them to give Piastri the first car and see how that works
That might
out.
even
But
happen.
McLaren is British, so they
You
won't
know,
want
it's
to do
funny that
that.
might happen because I've been looking at the way that team works. What do you think, Lorato? Then we'll go to Bjorn about that statement he made about them going for Piastri. Sometimes I think that's what they want to do.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually in my head now. I'm thinking about regardless of which might be the better car. It always comes down to how well the race is managed by the team in terms of strategy.
Yeah,
That gets won.
Yeah. I think spot on from everyone. I think the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the circuit itself generally is quite known for giving advantage to cars with more straight line speed. And if you recall the Drivers' Championship in 2021 between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, you see that from turn 7 to turn 9, that was where the overtook happened in that race.
Yeah. Because
and due to all the corners from that turn 9, 10, 11, that was where Hamilton could not get back and overtake Max back from. So I think generally teams that have not struggled with straight line speed would benefit in this track. I think McLaren will be good in this track.
Yeah.
I think Ferrari also be good in this track. I think Red Bull might suffer a bit, but they will not be way off in terms of with regards for that teams. But Max, once he's in front, he knows how to get his elbow out and hold position. So definitely anything that makes Red Bull stay in that first position, just know Max will hold on to that position to the end of the race. So it's going to be quite interesting. I think straight line speed will be a tremendous factor in this circuit. I think overtaking will only be available during the two DRS detection zone from turn 4 to turn 6 and from turn 7 to turn 9. That is where overtaking will be quite easy. And I think the start-finish line from turn 16 to turn 1. So that is the only 3 places I see overtaking will be done quite easy. Every other place, due to the late braking and the slow braking and it's a very tight corner, it's quite difficult to overtake. But I know there will be some massive and incredible overtaking during the circuit. We have some tremendous drivers on the circuit, so overtaking might not really be a challenge.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think it's a tale of two cities because the other half is very slow. It has slow speed corners, but I think that's going to help. That's going to help Ferrari, and so to me, the teams that have a lot of pace, like a lot of straight line speed, like Haas and Co., they're not going to be able to handle that thing. So now we have to look at the top 3 teams that have speed. Mercedes has good speed. Ferrari has good straight line speed. Red Bull has decent.
Yeah.
McLaren to me is 4th out of those 3 teams for straight line speed. They're going to suffer on those areas. And Ferrari has the advantage on the slow speed corners. So to me, you might be looking at Ferrari ahead and McLaren and Red Bull and Verstappen and Mercedes fighting for second. What do you think? Yeah. Just because of that slow speed section. Yeah.
Yes.
And also Ferrari's straight line speed is also decent. Yeah. It's not bad. It's better than McLaren. Yeah.
Yes. I think you're right. McLaren is not so bad, but I think they always enjoy the benefits of they do very well in medium speed corners, not compared to very slow speed, which Ferrari beat is better.
But after they took the water from their tires,
they
don't have water in their tires anymore.
So and I think for the drivers, for the constructors championship, like Kunle highlighted, I think anything that makes McLaren not to win the constructors championship, it's a failure for this season for McLaren.
I would say that if they don't win
losing the drivers championship or not even getting close to Max in the drivers championship is already a failure on its own. Yeah. Then you now compound that by losing the constructors.
And also, if
what is that their team principal name? The American guy, Zach something. He needs
Perez's fault or Red Bull's
if they don't close.
Hold on,
if they don't close,
if
they don't close, if McLaren do not close the team's constructors, I think that they need to query Zach Brown.
He's going to be in trouble. But I think they're going to keep Zach Brown. We'll talk about that later.